So I finished watching Nanabuno Nijuni like yesterday, and I gotta ramble about it. It's okay. I don't think it was bad. I didn't think it was like the worst thing I ever watched or something like that. But it's funny. So it's going to have a lot of spoilers here. Like I'm gonna spoil the whole thing. So if you think you're going to watch it someday, just stop listening. But like I can't take this thing seriously because they do a weird thing where they try to make it like really serious, where the characters have all these tragic backstories, some more than others, and they don't have like a good like how do I say that? It, at one moment you're having this tragic backstory about a character, like how her childhood was the saddest thing you ever see, and one of them really is, and then it's smack dab cuts into a comedic scene, a gag, something like they trying to make a joke when it really doesn't work because that was not the tone they were setting. Like in one of the episodes, there's this character, and she's like super hyper and always wants to do fun stuff and is always bringing the mood up there. But turns out she was a sickly kid and like really sick, and she hated it. She hated her life. And at some point, she ends up at the hospital, and she meets another little girl, her age, and they start becoming friends. It's cute and all, but then later, like after we keep seeing stuff happening, we realize that the girl she met is actually sick, like death risk, and like she ends up dying, and it's really traumatic. Like she gets taken to an individual room at some point, and then there's the girl that is on the group like doesn't see her for some weeks, and when she is ready to be discharged, she writes a letter talking about how much she liked their time together and everything, and she goes to give it to the girl, and she reaches the room right when she died. So she sees like their first friend ever dead, and her parents just like bawling, and they instantly cuts to a scene of her producer carrying her over their shoulders while she screams and slaps her own butt. It just takes you out of it instantly, and like not in the good way. It's not like, oh, okay, they lighten the mood after some heavy stuff. No, it just doesn't work. Like in one of the other episodes, like we're having this moment where one of the girls don't want to do the swimsuit shoot because she thinks is uh improper, I guess. But yeah, and she's like having this whole fucking crisis with herself, like she needs to do the job, but she doesn't want to do the job because she doesn't feel comfortable with the job. And then the producer shows up and goes, "The wall's orders are absolute." And like, can we talk about the wall? Can we talk about the wall? Let's talk about the wall. So the so like their group Nanabuno Nijuni, it's it was made by a company called GYP, and the company just like didn't even do auditions. They just picked those 8 girls and like, yeah, come, you're gonna be an idol. When they get there, they are taken to a room. There's like a little wall with some stuff, and then a little canal, like a little rundown thing, where it would spread a plaque with an order, like to a show, the view, go to a island, something like that. And they had to do what the wall spat out. Like, no questions asked. You do what the fucking thing says. Like, why a wall? Why a fucking wall? And even if you want to make it a wall, why not give it a fucking name? Why do you call it the wall? It is so stupid. Like, there's this complete serious dialogue about their careers and everything, and then someone just says the wall. And like, it's not as worse in Japanese, I guess, because it flows better, but when you're reading the subtitles, it takes a while, because it's like just the wall capitalized and like okay, right. Like language barriers, I guess. And even then, like, the wall is just stupid. At some point it just says this man, and the company's like, alright, guess the money doesn't worry. And doesn't matter, right? But like, the funniest part about the disband plotting is first you could see it coming from a mile away. Like, it was the most obvious part of the show. It doesn't get anyone. But like, everyone just like, whatever. The only people like, the girls is like, oh god, I don't want this, but they can't do anything. And the fans are like, okay, we're gonna break this place down. And they keep going day after day to the office and try to do something, like, but the office is closed already. It's interesting. It's definitely a direction they took. And of course, by the end, they get back together. Which, by the way, is like the best part of the show is when they fucking hit the wall down. Like, the main character Miu, she is super shy, like incredibly shy. She barely talks. Most of her dialogue is inside her head, like she's monologuing in her head, and half of her spoken words is or yeah. Like, she doesn't talk a lot, and every time she does, she stutters a bit. It's cute, but gets old. It's just like, I wish she'd talk more with everyone, and the dialogue flowed better. But what can you do? It's just the character, and like, but she's this insanely. She's scrawny. She's like, she's thin. She doesn't seem to be stronger. She just seems like this really petite girl, but the moment the wall starts talking, that because the wall starts talking at some point, like she's silent the whole thing, and that moment she just talks. She just talks. Fuck it. And then he starts talking, and one of the girls is like, please let us continue, but she's saying nope. So Miu just takes the sofa chair and hits it. And I'm like, what? When did she get the strength to do that? But like, she does it. She hits it. She hits so hard she breaks the wall. She breaks not the wall aimed like the literal wall. The physical wall is broken, just like falling down. And then the girls just finish breaking to like get a big enough hole so they can go through, because behind the wall there was a room with photos of them, but not like photos of them on the office, but photos of them as a kids. And the room was all lit red, and there's a lot of hidden cameras, and like that's kinda fucked up. But they just like say it's scary. Of course it is. And they keep going. They go through a staircase and get into the zoo amphitheater, because their base is hidden on a zoo with a think happened just for the joke that their producer looks like a gorilla. I don't know if there's more to it, but the entrance to their hidden room in the office is at the zoo. I still don't know why. Maybe it is a multimedia project as long as I know, and maybe they explain it somewhere else. I need to look it up, but just as recording this like after I finished it, so it's still fresh in my mind. So who knows? Maybe there's a reason. But and then they go to the zoo amphitheater and they do their 1 year anniversary show because they are disbanded right after it, and everyone is holding phones with I guess a piano app playing their song, which I don't know how everyone got, but I think the producer was behind that. I think that's what they like alluded to at the end. So at least that part makes a bit of sense. But then and then they just do the show and everything, and the wall is technically, or we think the wall is just broken and it doesn't work anymore. The wall has a robotic voice, so it. Okay, so it seems the wall was a mechanic thing, but there had to be someone behind the wall on that room. So maybe it's both, like you can control it, but it has an automatic mode. They don't explain it on the show. I don't know if they explained it somewhere else. I might learn about it. Who knows? But then at some point, it just dawned on me like, oh, if it's broken, then nothing more happens. Like, right? So the fucking last scene, like after credits, the Wolves pets a new thing, and it says that they need to get 3 new members, and then they show the 3 girls who probably are the new members, asking why is named Nanabu no Nijuni, which is 22/7, which is still doesn't make sense for me. I think it means that they are getting to 22/7 generations, or that's just my guess. Anyway, the thing is, the thing ends in like, yeah, I guess they think they're getting a second season. I don't see it happening, but who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe the story continues in a gacha game as it's still going on about, or maybe it continues on a manga or something, or just on their real life shows. Who knows? It's Seiyu stuff. Anyway, the characters are alright. I don't think there was anyone that like jumped to me. The girl of in the hospital was pretty sad and everything, but like I don't think her present self is that interesting of a character. It's just like, oh, she's using happiness to hide the trauma she had, and like, yeah, nothing new there, but it's not a bad thing. It's not done badly, so alright. The main character is the ooh, I'm shy and like really social anxious, but I did like how they show she doesn't adapt to like working culture, which in Japan specifically is really bad. So she has some interesting points until we get to not her backstory, but like something about her backstory. We don't really get the main character backstory. We just get that she's on a rough spot. Her mom's like not the most healthy. She's sickly but not sick, but she's the type of person like can collapse if she makes too much effort. So she was the one providing money because she was the one working, but she gets fired, and that's what kind of prompts her to become an idol. But it's a whole thing. I don't think I can do justice just explaining, but she like hates working for adults because she thinks adults are selfish and just want to fuck them over. There's this American girl, Sakura, because she's has a Japanese grandmother that she lost her grandma, which she was all the time because her parents worked outside and rich people always traveling, those kind of stuff. And she was always with her grandmother, and her grandmother taught about her of the Socrates, so she wanted to see Socrates. So she ended up becoming an idol to go to Japan, but she gets a 1 year deadline, which, by the way, when they get to the concert at the end, that year deadline passed, but she's still in Japan, and I guess she's staying, so that leads nowhere. But anyway, her grandma dies before they could see the cherry blossoms together, and that's her sad story. It is one of the better ones, to be fair, because there's this another girl. She's a mangaka, but she's also an idol to get material for her mangas. She ended up liking being an idol, but that's beyond the point. Her sad backstory is that she used to fight with her sisters. That's basically it. She used to fight with her sisters, but then they kind of helped each other during a fight, and now they don't fight anymore. And then she makes it big with her manga, and then she just leaves and goes live alone, which is hilarious. That her sad story is that she fight with her sisters, like she thought her sister didn't like her because they imply with her. That's all. And then you have the girl that get traumatized by seeing her first friend die, which is like, okay, that's a choice. There's this other girl that she's like extremely logical and emotionless, but turns out when she was a kid, her dad was an artist, and he kept telling her how to like be free and that kind of stuff, creativity, doing stuff when she wanted. She was kind of spoiled by her dad. So her mother was more of the logical type and worked outside, while her dad just painted, and the relationship was shaky. One day they went to the wood cabins, like to have a vacation, and her dad left, her mom left to do something, and she was alone. And instead of staying on the house like her mother thought, she just goes out, goes out, whatever, and then she sleeps, falls down the hill, and gets lost for some days. I think it was days, maybe it was hours, but she gets lost. And after that, she is traumatized too. Her parents start fighting, get divorced. She stays with her mom, and now she's like emotionless. Who would I guess? Still, she has a performer heart. She still likes the arts. So in the end, she just like every time they perform, she kind of cries and gets happy, but then she goes back to pretending she doesn't have enough emotions. It's another form of trauma response. Another girl lost her mother when her mother gave birth to her, so her dad's like extremely, he dotes on her like a lot. It doesn't get to the weird territory or like looks like her dad is into her, but they do say she has a father complex, and I think that's weird. It might be just me, but I think that's really weird, so I won't touch in that. She's the one who didn't want to do the swimsuit stuff. Their father bought, by the way, that because she does the swimsuit stuff and her father buys the magazine where it comes out, but it is played as like, he buy everything she's in, because when she comes back to their house after they disband, for quote unquote disband, she sees her father bought everything there was of her. Like the walls are plastered with posters, he has figures, buttons, it's everything. It's kinda endearing at some ways, but it's funny. There's this girl where she lives with like 5 brothers and her single mother, and like her father left, like their brothers are mostly from different fathers. I don't think every single one is from a different father, but like there's only 3 different fathers, because her mom sleeps around, like she Not like she's like sleeping with people and never gets with someone. It's like she just has the worst finger for men, and they just leave. She's the oldest one, so she was the first, and the father. I think that her father is the one that stayed for the most time, but still left when she was still little, and she just remembers his face and his name. So she's looking for him and trying to, because in her head, if she finds him, she can convince him to go back and they would have a dad. Poor soul, that's not how it works. I'm sorry, but that's her goal. So she decides to become an idol to become famous. So there's this cute thing she and her mother does that they keep lying to each other, but like they know they are lying. Like they say they want to do something, or like she says she wants to be a space cowboy, or like a space detective. It's just like a form of coping again. But they generally support each other, and like it's cute. She really takes care of her family and her brothers and sisters, and it's cute. I don't really like her character, like in personality, is just like not the type I get it like invested in. But it's not a bad character too. It's fine. It's fun. It has its moments. Oh god, who am I forgetting? Wait, main characters, Sakura, the girl that had the friend that died, the girl that lost in the woods, the girl that lost her mother, the mangaka. Oh yeah, so the last one is Nicole. So Nicole is insane. Like just holy shit, what a character. It's not like something really weird happens with her. It's just like we don't know much about her for most of the thing. She just shows up saying she does a lot of auditions. This is her chance of stardom. She wants to be an idol. Like she really wants to be an idol. She's trained for that. So during the whole thing, she's kind of antagonizing because the girls are kind of lost because they didn't really want to be idols. They just got like dragged into this, and they are like rolling with it. Especially the main character, she says she hates idols, but she needs to do it so she can keep protecting her family. Because when you said she got fired, they don't have another job. Her mom and her sister, like, they're fucked. If she doesn't get another job, they don't pay rent, and you know that how that ends. But so she's kind of antagonized, like, because she wants and she doesn't want the people to like ruin that for her. So for most of the time, she's like the Sharpay kind of thing, where she's kind of mean, but she's kind of tsundere. So yeah, meh. But when they disband and everything, we get to her backstory. So it turns out she went when she was in middle school for like some time. The main girl studied with her. She was transferred there, and of course, the main girl was like super shy, so she didn't talk with anyone really. She like spoke 5 words with her. But anyway, Nicole had this problem when she got nervous. She started stuttering, and she got shit for that. Of course, bullying. Kids are assholes. Anyway, so one day they were deciding what to do to the culture festival like they have, and one of the what the class was going to do was Snow White, the play, and the Nicole bullies decided that it would be really funny to have her be the witch, like the villain. So they kind of like gaslit everyone into thinking she wanted to do it. So the teacher kind of had to do it because she didn't know how to deal with it, which is terrible. Teachers should know when someone's getting bullied. Trust me, I study for that. But like, she makes her be the witch, which she kind of takes in stride after all, because her parents say it was a big thing being the antagonist and everything. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna do it right. So she goes to train. Like when she's practicing the song, the main girl just slams open the door of the room she's doing it, goes to the piano because it's the music room and just start playing the song for her, saying no words, just showing up and starts playing. It's creepy. But they play it as like, oh, she understood me without ever saying a word. Which, okay, kind of weird, okay. And then it gets to the day of the presentation, day of the play. And, like, there's this thing happening, like, everyone is watching and everything, but the bullies have a plan because they know she starts stuttering when she gets nervous and she's doing well, but they say she's so shy, so we're gonna help her. And then they just take out the prop apple that she's supposed to give to Snow White. So when she reaches to do it on the scene, she sees it's not there, then she starts panicking. And like, of course, it was the girl knew that was gonna happen, so she was using that to tease her and hoping she auto-destructs and starts stuttering and ruins the whole thing. So before that happens, the main girl just runs. She bolts into the stage, jumps the bully and starts hitting her in the face. Like the main girl, the shy one, like she just starts punching her and just stops the play and cancels it. Holy shit. And then when Nicole asks why she does that, she says she thought that Nicole was about to break and she didn't want her most precious thing to break, which insane. Up to that point, that's like they exchanged no words that we've seen. They probably like say hi to each other sometimes, but this is like the first conversation they have, and the girls are like, "You're the most precious thing." And since we never get the main character point of view, we don't know why she just saying that. And like when we get to the future, when they meet again, the main character doesn't recognize her, so it makes it even weird because okay, I know kids change, but they didn't change that much, and she probably would remember the name at least, which is weird. They imply at the end that they remember each other, like the main character remember who she was after she helped her break the wall, and then they talk like cryptically to each other during the final concert of the show, like the anniversary thing. But like it's still kind of weird that backstory just like doesn't really fit. It feels like they put it there just to have them have a connection, but they didn't really think about the connection. So like the main girl is the reason why Nicole wants to be an idol, but they are really antagonizing each other at the start of the show. But not at each other, but like Nicole at her. Her is just like, whoa, you were amazing, but I don't want to do this, but I need to do this, and like, well, happens. So after that, we just kind of get blue ball because you think like, okay, so the final moment is gonna be a catharsis where they acknowledge each other and really like talk about, oh, that happened. But no, there's this weird scene where they go back to being kids and then they back to being adults, but adults in quotations because they are like 16, 17. But like that happens and we're like, oh, okay, that happened, all right. It really isn't a catharsis. It just barely counts as acknowledgement, but that's how it ends. Like, yeah. Other than that, most of the characters feel like gimmicks. They are like these archetypes, and they play those archetypes. There's like two tsunderes. The girl that lost her mom, but she's less tsunderish. It's just like she's more hiding hiding like insecurities rather than just hiding how she feels. It's weird, but yeah, in the end, like fine. It's a fun watch. The absurdity of the wall makes it worse and better at the same time because like it makes it worse as a story but better as a watch because you are laughing at the absurdity of the thing. It I get what they were going at. Is just like a how past molds you and how going forward you can change to. It's about coming together and doing something, and how paths leads to the same place in different ways. You can see what they were trying to say, and it's not a bad show. But I wouldn't give it like a 10 out of 10. I think if I had to say, I would give it a 6. It's fun, it's not bad, it has its moments. Like, yeah, animation kinda melts down in episode 10, which is really sad because it's supposed to be the climax where they disband, like it should be the most important part. But the animation is like melting. Faces are starting to get like not consistent, and it feels like it's the part of the thing where they had to rush it because it was getting to the end, so they had to start the final episodes earlier and kind of sidelined us this episode, which is not a good thing. Never is a good thing. And in the 3D models for the music, the songs, oh god, I'm born to like defend 3D models and CGI. I like it. I'll get more into that when I talk about something else, because these models were not the worst I ever seen. They were not good. They were really uncanny, but I've seen worse. So when I get to the worst, I'll talk about it, about my views on these things. And like, yeah, it's rough in the eyes. The songs are not bad. I think the main theme, like the opening song, is the worst one, which is sad because it's the song they play at the end too. Like the final concert on the series is like that song, and like I don't really like it. It's not bad, but it's like, yeah, not my thing. But the ending songs are pretty good. I like the ending songs, like the ending, the main ending with everyone, and every single ending. Like there's one ending for each girl for each of of their episodes. I think there is one for the main character, but I don't remember. But like the other 7, I know there is. And the songs are good. I like them. Don't think they were my favorite type, but my favorite songs ever. Like I probably wouldn't put any of them in my playlist, but they are like good listeners. Like if you heard it once and you go, no, oh yeah, cool song, like it. Some people might even love it. And yeah, other than that, it's just like a run of the mill idol with some weird stuff happening. And like, yeah, some weird stuff happened. But at the end of the day, it's just that. And it's a fun watch. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but if you like idol stuff and you want to watch all of the idol stuff, it's not a bad thing to watch. There's definitely worse. Look at Yuri stage. But if I had to, yeah, if I had to say, it's one of my least favorites. I give it a 6 out of 10, and watch it if you have nothing else to watch.